What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Onyx coin today, XCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Before we get started, I just want to say that I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I've been wrong. I'll be wrong before, or I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Yesterday, in yesterday's video, I was talking about a very big move that was going to come our way. I didn't expect that it would happen yesterday. I was expecting that it would happen maybe a few days from now, sometime next week. But I did lay out a couple scenarios where if I was invalidated, what that would look like, what price areas to look for to invalidate my thoughts, and that if we did invalidate the idea of a correction, that a very explosive move would happen. So even though I was wrong, I feel like I did a good job of like covering my tracks in case I was wrong. There was even a point in the video, if you're curious, you want to watch it at all, whatever. That I am like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it kind of looks like it wants to run. It kind of looks like, but anyways, it's not about that. It's not about being right or wrong. At the end of the day, it's about risk management and just patience, man. It's really just about patience. Don't believe me if it's about being right or wrong. Hold on, I'm gonna take a moment just real quick. If you don't think it's about being right or wrong, let me just lay out a scenario for you here, right? There are plenty of traders, and maybe you are a person who's experienced this yourself, that will make 9 trades in a row that are winning trades. Maybe they'll make 5 trades in a row. Maybe it's just 3 trades in a row. And they win all of them. But then they have one trade, just one, where they lose. They were right more often than they were wrong, but they lost that one time, and they lost everything they made. And not only that, but they actually went from a net positive to a net loss in that one loss. You were still right more often than you were wrong. And then there's scenarios, maybe not too many people are people like this or know people like this, because it takes a little bit more discipline. But this is how you know that you've made it as a trader, as an investor, is whenever you've been wrong 3 times in a row, 5 times in a row. You're on a losing streak 9 times in a row, and then that one time you're right, it makes up for all those losses, and now you're net profit too. How can you be wrong 5 times in a row and be right only once? How can you be wrong more often than you're right and still be making money? It's all about risk management. If you're wrong and you cut your losses at the right time, if you're right and you get in at the right time and get out at the right time, you leverage your position in the right way, you'll make money. But if you just think it's about being right or wrong, I would ask this actually, just before we actually continue with this video. If you're a day trader and you're losing money and you're not profitable, I'm gonna make a statement about you right now. I'm gonna state that I bet being right matters a lot to you. If you're not a good day trader, I would bet being right matters a lot to you. If I'm accurate on that, there might be something to it, right? I'm not a genie. I'm not a wizard. I can't read your mind. I only know that because it goes in tandem. You can't be a good trader if being right is all that matters. You can't be a good trader, because then there's just pride. It gets in the way. But anyways, guys, enough philosophy. XCN, Onyx coin here, from a relative high to a low, moved all the way up to its 1886. Wrong crypto here, because on Kraken, this thing went ballistic and went all the way up to a cent. And then today, it's already gone up above 0.007, which is higher than any other reading we've gotten. Right today on this, the highest reading we've gotten is 0.00622. On Kraken, it went all the way up to 0.00769. Right? So this is a nominal degree higher, all the way up to the 1886, tore right through the 1618. I want to look at the 4-hour. It's just unstoppable, bro. It is crazy. Wow. That might not be the best fib. Let's look. I mean, that's a pretty decent fib to measure off of. But let's measure this one. Yeah, we're in the midst of it now, guys. We are cooking. We are cooking. Yeah, 110% up this week. I love it, man. I love it. Okay. So my thoughts are that we're in the midst of a move right now that isn't stopping until 1 cent. Until 1 cent. Yeah. You might find momentary stops. XCN likes to be volatile, right? And if we look at this on a daily basis, you can see that. Right? You can see it here. It likes to be volatile. You got these wicks going all the way up, right? You've got them. Even on the downside, you've got them, right? Wick City all the time. It loves to play these games, but it still will make its way up there. So all I'm trying to say by that is I think XCN, there's no other possibility in my mind that this move here tops at anywhere below this line. It has to be at this line or higher. This line or higher. It's topping at 1.1 cents or higher. That's my 1.09 cents or higher. Okay, 0.0109 dollars or higher. It's going to close at this level. or more. And if it was to close more, personally, I wouldn't think that it closes above 2.8 cents. I don't think it goes all the way up there. I would think you do probably stop below 2 cents, somewhere around 1.6 to 1.9 cents, if not 1.1 cents, somewhere in this range. But I would at least expect this line, if not more, right? The weekly RSI, first and foremost, is just bullish as hell. Bouncing off the 60 area, getting deeper drives into the RSI than you've ever seen in your life. This is the all-time history chart for XCN. So this is the strongest readings that you've ever seen in XCN's life. The strongest readings are generally accompanied by the strongest moves, right? That week there was the strongest move we saw, and that was 140%. 140% right there. We've got stronger readings now. We're in a more bullish phase of the market now. And here, we were rounding out from our bear market lows, where here, we're breaking out from this bear market kind of blues box that we've been in, right? We're breaking out from it now and likely going to see a greater retracement based off of this high to low. In fact, speaking on retracement terms, from this high to low, we're at the 382 right now. So if we were to find resistance, this actually might be a good place to find a little bit of temporary resistance. And I mean it, even with saying that, guys, I mean it, that the next stop is nothing shy of 1.1 cents, okay? I'm very strict with that meaning. I don't know, with how much I mean it, right? I very much do mean that that's going to happen. But being at the 382 does offer an opportunity to find a little bit of resistance in the meantime. When I say that we're going to move up there nonstop, that doesn't mean that we can't take a week or two's break. I just don't think that we're going to consolidate like this before we see 1.1 cents. We're not going to consolidate like this. We're not going to consolidate like this. We're basically going to move up nonstop. But even in those nonstop moves, you have red weeks. You have a couple weeks where it seems like it's moving stagnant, right? But not this month or more period, not this multi-month period, nothing like that. So being at this 382 and at a previous area of support could be a good area to find a little bit of resistance, to be completely fair. If we're looking at a relative high to low here too, I want to see. You're just below that 1272, yeah. I would think you go a little bit higher. I don't know though, man. You don't have to stop here. You really don't. That's a very bullish breakout of your 886. I would think XCN, if it does top here, it likely goes a little bit higher first and then tops out. It might be topping in this area. This high might be close to where it tops. And I say top, I shouldn't say top, I'm sorry. Where it finds turbulence, where it pulls back a little bit, maybe it pulls back to 0.0044, something like that. Nothing too crazy. And if it did that, right, it would come up here, it'd pull back there in a day and then be off to the races the next day, right? It wouldn't be a long phase of consolidation. Just because it wouldn't be long doesn't mean it can't be big, right? From a high to a low, you could be very volatile. This thing could drop a lot in a short amount of time and then continue to move up, right? Looking at a weekly basis here, for example, from a high on this week to the low that was the preceding week, in a week's time or less, you dropped about 20%, right? So we could see those kind of drops. We could see a drop from here, from this high down here. I mean, that's a 28% drop, but it's a bigger move. It's a big, this move here is bigger than what we were dealing with down here, so we could see a bigger drop. Back testing the areas that we found resistance on before, checking back as support. It's a very normal thing to do. So don't throw that out of the way, or out of the mind, out of your potential, right? Also on that note, looking at this fib, if I can just pull it up here. Nope, we're gonna do it like this. There we go. Looking at this fib here, anytime you interact with the 382, tends to be a good setup for a 236 bounce, right? You pull from the 382 down to the 236 and then bounce, and that is previous areas of resistance, right? It's kind of like the line of best fit drawn in this zone for resistance. And again, breaking out of an area of resistance, back testing it for support, it's very common. Going up to your 382 and pulling back to your 236, very common. And both of those things are the same thing for all intents and purposes for this specific chart. They're not always the same thing, but for this instance they are. Or that they go in tandem. So just be aware of that. I don't believe XCN is going to go all the way back down to 0.007275. I don't think that's going to go down, or sorry, 27252. I don't think it's going to go down that low. I do accept that it could go down to the 2004s area again. We could drop a little bit, but all that to say, my friends, regardless of what happens in the days or even this next week, I would assume that over the weeks, over the month of not just January, but sometime in the middle of February, by the end of February, I would assume that XCN is much higher than just 1 cent, likely at 2.2 cents to 3.3 cents. That is my expectation for where this is going to go by the end of February, right? Before the end of this move as a whole overall. And again, not to get that confused with the original thing that I was saying, right? We could move, I think we could move up relatively immediately in a short amount of time up to that 1.1 cent area, something like that. And then maybe we consolidate for a little bit, like a week or two. Nothing crazy, but like something like this. And then going into February, we see that next phase up again, right? So something like that. End of move, 61869. Short-term breakout move, 1.1 cents, something like that. Does that make sense? I hope that answers any questions in case anybody got confused right there for a second. I hope I nipped to that in the butt. But essentially, yes, from here, I have a hard time seeing anything less than 0.0022 by the end of February. At a minimum 0.0011, but I think you're going to be above 2 cents by the end of February. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters in my opinion, right? You're at 5 cents now. You're up 107% this week, and you still have the potential to move up another 3x from here, 4x almost from here. Yeah, crazy, bro. And then at a minimum, you still have 2x potential, which is like what the average coin has on, across the board. So I got nothing else I want to talk about, guys. I think I've just kind of droned on for this video. Daily time frame looks killer. 4-hour time frame showing a little bit of bearish divergence. Okay, that agrees with the idea. You find some resistance here. I bet you do. Yeah, that 1 hour's got some bearish divergence too. But don't be surprised, man. Look at this, right? You look at this here. High here, lower high. Look at all this. Look at how similar these look. I wish I started the video off right. I probably bored a lot of people out of it by now, but look at how similar all of those look. They all look super similar, don't they? And the price action too. This is like a parabolic. This is parabolic structure, y'all. You're moving up into it, and then you move down, but it's just at that low there. You didn't move too significantly down. Here, your next kind of lower high right there. Moved down a little bit, but then moved up and just moved sideways, and then moved up. Bearish divergence now. You move down a little bit, but guys, if you just keep moving sideways here, then you're gonna move up again. And I think you are. You guys, is Onyx? It's not listed on Binance. Okay. Big prediction at the end here. What if Onyx coin is getting listed on Binance? What if XCN is getting listed on Binance? This seems like exchange buying. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We don't have any volume on here. If we look at something with volume, like Coinbase, it's a lot of volume, man. It seems like exchange. And this tenacity with the 1 hour, it's like right whenever it seems like it's at its weakest point, that's when it breaks out. It just feels like exchange buying. And I've been doing this for 8 years, guys. I've seen 3 crypto bull markets. I know what exchange buying looks like. I'm telling you, this is it. This is really it. And Binance, the biggest crypto exchange in the world, does not have XCN listed. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. They tend to list the coins that pop off the most, man. And this coin is definitely one of those front runners for the week. So could gain attention. They could be listing it. Watch it happen, man. I'm a psychic. I'm calling it right now. Within a week, within a month, maybe by the end of this move, maybe by the end of February, we're announced that we're listed on Binance. If not, that's just something to look forward to in the future. But I got nothing else for you guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Thank you all for being here.